Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is the Intercontinental Group of Awesome, so named because we straddle two continents and a big honking body of water in between. And on Sundays, afternoons for me, evenings for my friends in Europe, we get together and play games, mostly indie stuff, but occasionally we may dip our toe into more conventional style RPGs. We are in the middle, I don't know. We are in a campaign of Power Beyond Doubt, grown-up superheroes tabletop RPG powered by the apocalypse, meaning it uses a dice system similar to Masks or mostly Masks, but also Apocalypse World, Monster Hearts, Urban Shadows. There are a large number of PBTA games, and PPD is a PBTA, and I'm just going to throw a bunch of acronyms. What? No, I'm not. This game is developed by one of our players, Jen, and I am really having fun running this game for everybody. Our setting is Earth, but a slight history Earth in that 50, 60 years ago, aliens responded to Voyager, space travel, all the things that we Earthlings had done to try to reach out to the galaxy before we had the James Webb telescope. Any of those images, we just sent things out into the universe. And in our alternate history, the aliens came here thinking, oh, yes, they want to establish a thing. So a number of alien races have come to Earth, and most of them have centered around what at the time was Miami. And it is a city that has taken on a new name because there was a third power that revealed itself when the aliens came to Earth and said, hey, we're here. The lost nation of Atlantis said, we're here as well. We've been doing our own stuff. But since you're going to negotiate with intergalactically, we should probably have a seat at the table. And Atlantica City, formerly Miami, is where all three of those different cultures intermingle. We have Little Mars, which is this small island in the middle of Atlantica City where most of the aliens congregate. It is near the Kennedy. I'm going to pause because I'll say it wrong every single time. The Kennedy Terrestrialization Center. It's not far from that. And we also have some Atlantean barrios in Atlantica City, areas where the Atlanteans have come to reside. In our city, probably the most well-known hero is the Atlantean, a superhero of the deep from Atlantis, perhaps the ruler of Atlantis. We haven't really talked a whole lot about that, but they have saved countless lives in Zur time. But we have some other heroes as well. And these other heroes are more important to us because they are the heroes of our story, the stars, the protagonists, the team. You may notice if you've watched previous sessions that we're down a member. Oh, Alex is being a wonderful husband and taking care of his kids so his wife can go out for the night. And he is unable to join us this session, sadly. But we do have some folks who are here. So let's start from the right-hand side of our character keeper, heading towards the left. If you could introduce yourself and remind us a bit about your character. We'll start with the game's designer, Jen.
It's me. I'm Jen. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing as Theo, aka Shinnok, a fox-themed superheroine with foxy powers such as heightened senses, mimicry abilities, and the typical superhuman toughness, fighting ability, and strength. She's actually a legacy heroine. There have been several Shinnocks before her. And she has recently taken on the mantle and been a part of our cool unnamed team.
You know, Jen, while I was avoiding the oppressive state of my work right now, because it is pretty oppressive,
Oh dear.
I went down a rabbit hole about
Mm.
today's game for Shinnok, in that I had our wishes from the previous session, and you had action, fighting, love, and rival, close ties. And that took me down the tangent of rival. And I was just in my head. I'm like, rival. You know, there should be someone who decides the Shinnok is their rival. And then I said, well, Shinnok is fox themed. What is the predator that goes after foxes? Which then led me to bears eat foxes? A bear villain? I don't know if you guys have seen the Russian movie that is titled in English The Guardians.
Oh man, we tried.
If you have not, it is a
so boring, actually.
Fanciful feast of some really cool for the budget CGI at one point, but a whole lot of pontificating and boringness. But still, there's a bear themed dude who has a minigun.
Yes.
Bear dude. Arceus. And I thought, should I introduce an Arceus in our game? A bear guy to go after Shinnok? These are the things that I do when I'm supposed to be doing more work. And my brain says, nah, you're taking a break from work by doing different work in your head.
Your brain's like, buddy, I know what you really want to think about. Here you go.
Oh, those pictures of Arceus are so cool. He's so weird. I love it. He wears jeans. He's just like shirtless, and he's just big, thick,
bareheaded. You expect so much better from it after you see that image, but they waste it, man. They waste it. Just look at the pictures and have a good time.
Yeah, it's true. I actually have watched most of that on one of the like Pluto's or Tubi or whatever it was on for a brief period, and I think it's cycled off at this point. I'm glad I didn't pay money for it. Paying with watching commercials was enough payment for me. Let's move to the center here. Hold the center, Tyler.
Hi there, I'm Tyler, he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Maxwell Mannheim, a mild-mannered professor of folklore and archaeology, and he is a, early 50s professorial type, nice enough guy, English. But he is also in possession of the essence spirit of Hearn the Hunter, who he discovered on an archaeological dig. Hearn is the actual manifestation of the demigod, legend, mythological being Hearn the Hunter of the Wild Hunt. He occasionally takes over, and when that happens, Maxwell transforms into a massive 7-foot plus mound of muscle. He's the paragon. He's super duper strong and fast and flies and tough, and he also has a big blast he throws with his spear. He's got super senses. He's super-ish. Together, we struggle against awful things and try and find vengeance on those who deserve it, while struggling amongst ourselves, the professor and Hearn, for control of what their reality is. And I went up and got an advance last time, and I chose something boring, which was my humanity, because I am thinking, Maxwell trying to get the upper hand in changing Hearn a little. And I think we've seen that as we've gone through.
And for wishes from last session, Tyler, you had wished for a villain who is definitely punchable. I will do my very, very best to grant that wish early on in today's session. Then last only in that, there, the leftmost on the character keeper is Sabine.
Yeah, Hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. I am playing Oscuro. That's the hero name. The mortal name is Miguel Morales. He's the Avenger. He wants to right the wrong that has happened to him when he was the rock star, and a mastermind took over basically the audience and had them rob a super security museum of alien artifacts and such. And now, and after he recovered from the whole thing, which took a bit, he is now out and tries to find this mastermind and has teamed up with the others and tries to help them because, well, he has some powers. I mean, he's a good martial artist. He can do a bit of parkour. He also commands some sound spirits as a sorcerer. Yeah, but he also has some flame spirits, but they're from his old life. His old life is over. Well, mainly, mostly. Who knows?
And Sabine, I have written down, correct me if I'm wrong, action, I put an exclamation point, different pairings, scenes with Theo and Hearn are the things that you had wished for. Is that
is yeah, that's it. Because Miguel's been paired with Blossom a lot. And
yes,
while I
that is
love
very true.
that dynamic between them, I would like to explore another one.
Absolutely. Yeah,
so cool.
I want to as well, because I think the dynamics between each of you are different and quite interesting. So before we jump into our action, I'm going to seed in a little thing by doing a bit of question asking. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit of information, listen to it, and here's what I want you to think about as I tell you about this restaurant that existed in Atlantica City, kind of a Chuck E. Cheese type restaurant. Think about your character and your history in Atlantica City, because I'm going to ask, did your character ever go to it before it closed, or is it just something that you perhaps have heard about? 40 years ago in Atlantica City, a restaurant opened. Well, it was less of a restaurant and more of an event. See, the place was a fun-filled fantasy for both kids and adults. Games, rides, music. The exterior facade looked like a giant pink fantasy castle covered with colored lights. Guests could interact with whimsical characters who wandered throughout the dining area. It measured at 50,000 square feet. It was the largest restaurant in all of Atlantica City, one of the largest in the country. There were 3 levels of dining, a concert hall, an arcade filled with the latest video games and even pinball machines. There were private rooms for parties and even a 40-foot high indoor waterfall. Magicians put on shows. Several mariachi bands roamed throughout the restaurant, entertaining guests. There was even a spooky cave that children could explore and a miniature roller coaster. Princess's Pizza Party specialized in birthday parties, hosted by Princess herself. You see, Princess was a fantasy character who had an entire backstory painted on the wall as you entered the restaurant. Her story was that she had been a fairy princess in her own world, but when a terrible capital D darkness invaded her lands, she came here to Earth. In order to prevent the darkness from following, she magically created Princess's Pizza Party, where there would always be laughter and fun, the only things that can drive the darkness away. Princess brought with her a number of fantastic friends who helped create the magical world of Princess's Pizza Party, such as Alley Cat, Bo Petit the alligator, Flicker the dragon, Frosty Penguin, and the Chocolate Buffalo. Now, the original princess was played by the owner of the place, who loved to dress up and charm the children with her Cajun accent. She continued to play princess for almost 20 years, was so associated with the role that even her friends and family referred to her as Princess. But all good things come to an end. By the late 90s, trailing into the 2000s, Princess's Pizza Party was beset by financial problems. The place just wasn't as popular as it once was. In fact, it had become such an institution around town that it became the butt of many jokes. Then Sally Hudgens, the actress of the princess, broke her leg in a water skiing accident, and she could no longer play the role she had come to love. Now, Princess's Pizza Party got a second chance at life when an investor from back east named Herman LaRusso offered to buy the place. Herman had been to Princess's Pizza Party once as a child, and the experience remained with him for the rest of his life. Hudgens was reluctant to sell, but she had little choice, and LaRusso seemed like the kind of person who would stay true to her vision. She took her payment and quietly retired. The new owner revamped the place, got rid of some of the corny old school rides and games, updated the menu, and added a few new characters. A rotating cast of young actresses played Princess. The kids didn't notice the change, but some of the parents who had practically grown up at Princess's Pizza Party felt like the place was somehow different now. Less fun, less whimsical, less magical. Still, the updated Princess's Party was doing well. The updated place attracted a new generation of kids who loved the games, the fun, the music, and especially the pizza. LaRusso held a number of big events with local celebrities. This was in the early 2000s, attracting media attention, bringing the old place back to life. It seemed like Princess's Pizza Party was back, bigger and better than ever. But it wasn't all roses and sunshine. Disturbing and ugly rumors dogged the restaurant. Some mundane, others less so. Some people said that LaRusso was a mob boss from the Northeast, and he was using the restaurant to launder his dirty money. They said that he forced Princess to sell the place under threat of violence. They said LaRusso was operating under an alias, hiding out from the feds or from a rival gang, and had come to Atlantica City to lay low for a while. Other rumors were darker. People claimed there were a lot of disappearances in the area, that they saw strange people in black robes entering the pizza place after hours, that they heard chanting and saw strange lights inside. People said they saw frightening occult symbols scrawled in bathroom stalls and on the walls in the private party rooms. Rumors swirled of people smelling or spotting fresh blood in the kitchen. LaRusso ignored the rumors, hoping they would go away on their own, but business began to slack off, and no number of charity events or celebrity testimonials could stop it. Eventually, the rumors became so persistent that the police had to get involved. Detectives began to sniff around Princess's Pizza Party. Then something happened to put an end to the investigations for good. Hurricane Kalen. During Hurricane Kalen, a huge wall of water crashed through Princess's Pizza Party, blowing out the front doors and filling the place with a filthy, polluted water. Though the restaurant wasn't open during the storm, LaRusso and several employees were there trying to board up windows and protect the place. The storm washed LaRusso away and his body was never recovered. And that was the end of Princess's Pizza Party. LaRusso had no heirs, so the place closed down. The city tried to put the property up for auction, but no one was interested in buying it. The history was just too ugly. So Princess's Pizza Party, a place of joy and fun for generations of Atlantica City, was boarded up and abandoned, like many other places after the hurricane. And there it has remained for over 10 years, an empty building in a decaying neighborhood. The windows are boarded up, the doors are chained shut. The outside is covered in graffiti. Though long deserted, it seems to radiate an aura of menace. Nobody has gone inside for a long time, not even teens for looking for somewhere to make out or junkies needing a place to to hide. It seems like everyone, even the most desperate, somehow instinctively know to avoid Princess's pizza party. So, Theo, what has Theo heard, or did she ever, as a very young child, make it to the kind of second generation of Princess's Pizza Party?
I don't think that Theo ever made it to the second generation of Princess's Pizza Party. Honestly, like if she had, she would have been a toddler.
Right.
Right.
Well, Jack, I was like trying to remember the names of or the ages of everyone to think in the timeline. I could see maybe she was brought along to someone else's birthday party, perhaps. But yeah,
Sure.
I get you. Probably as a toddler.
But yeah, I feel like Theo and Rasheen like dared each other to go in.
Ooh, so the modern, you've been dared to go in.
Yeah. In the more modern times, maybe 10-ish years ago, it was like, come on, the window's broken. You could go right in. You do it. No, you.
So Theo, when you went inside, what were you disappointed to find in there?
Disappointed to find. I think that the room that Theo snuck into was like a bookkeeping office. So it was real boring, except for some photographs and posters on the wall, right? It was otherwise normal desk, really old, janky looking computer that like clearly was broken. Dust.
Oh, like a big chunky monitor.
Big chunky CRT monitor, a filing cabinet, a cork board with some red string. Just not exciting to a young person. So having succeeded at going inside, she probably left without going any deeper. Because otherwise, I think it's not a huge disappointment, because definitely the hot loot would have been going in there and like seeing some animatronic with like rotted rubber face action, but that isn't what she saw.
All right. And to hopefully make sense of the timeline, it opened 40 years ago, so it would have been in the 80s. Originally closed down like late 90s to 2000 based on who you ask. Reopened.
Right. So it was maybe closed for a year or two when Theo snuck in.
Okay, cool.
But yeah.
All right.
It was probably daytime.
That's the best time to sneak into scary places, right? So it's less scary. Now, Miguel, what is Miguel's interactions, opinions of touchstones, not mechanical, but
it's been closed down for 10 years about?
Yeah, I
right?
think so.
So okay, Miguel's 26, so we've been 16, so he could have been there as a kid. I think his mother took him when they came to the Atlantica City for the first time when he was 6. And that was pretty exciting because at 6, he did not have a lot of control over powers or anything. So he saw a lot of stuff going on. Or the whole spirit world interacting with the normal world. And in that was so exciting. That was just so exciting. I think he kind of shut down eventually because he was so overwhelmed with this.
Too stimulated.
yeah, overstimulated. It was, but he remembered that was cool. And later, when he was stuck in Atlantica with nothing much to do, as a maybe 10-year-old, he used to run away and go and see if he could bother an animatronic or something into whatever, right? Before they chased him away or something.
Oh wow. So he was kind of a like junkie during its later, the later stage Princess Pizza Party before it shut
Mhm.
down was definitely. And I think that there was something like the spirits, young Miguel was pretty convinced that like there was something real about that place. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. Maxwell, I know you traveled a lot. I don't know how much time you spent in Atlantica City. So,
Well, I think we see a 50-year-old-ish Maxwell. His father, Sir Archie, had been posted in the Bahamas, and as an excursion, they had come over to Miami. We had heard about this place, and I mean, I was much too old for that sort of thing, but it truly was. I guess we had nothing like this back in England, and it was wondrous. Um, so much entertainment, so many things to see. I remember it so fondly. It was strange when I came to Atlantic City, a much older man, not quite so filled with the wonders of childhood, I suppose, but I had already met Hearn,
ooh, okay.
and I don't know, maybe it was nostalgia, maybe it was just looking over old haunts. I had been to that side of town where the hurricane had hit so hard, but walking around there as we neared the palace, Hearn refused to get closer. He in fact took control, something that does not happen often, and left the area.
Well, that is fascinating. I like that little flashback there. Thank you much. Thank you all for that little excursion, do a bit of story time, and for being so giving with your characters to be part of that. So after that prelude, we begin with the sound of horns honking and a long line of cars that have pretty much stopped moving towards the bridge, the 195, not I-95, 195 bridge. I'll have you know.
That means it's just within the state.
That's right. 195 bridge, which crosses from eastbound to westbound. It's on the south side of Atlantic City, actually not far from Ocean View Hospital, heading towards on the western side, the Puerta Ponce de Leon. So Miguel, what car are you in? Are you in the bus? The like Oscuro bus?
I don't have that back yet. I have.
Dang it! How much time is? What are they doing to that thing?
I don't know. I mean, I'm keeping away from it until the whole thing cools down a little. So I'm not. I have a car. I have a bike. So I'm fine.
Okay.
I could be in a car. I could be in a bike. Whatever you prefer.
Well, I'd love for you to be in a car with at least one, if not both, of our other player characters. It could be a car that Hearn is driving. It could be a rental that you're driving. Shinnok, I don't think you have a car, if I remember correctly, Theo, right? Yeah. So what do we think?
Don't know if her knows how to drive a car. Does her know how to drive a car?
Her
Probably
doesn't,
not.
but
Maxwell
Maxwell
might.
does.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but you said a car with her. So
Well,
Sorry, my apologies. I did misspeak there.
Hearn is
Okay.
always with us.
I know, but it's easier in a car. if
Always
it's Max.
watching.
If it's Maxwell instead of her.
You got a sports car, or is it a low slung out thing?
Maybe gas car. Basically a Mercedes or something like that.
Ah, so like a bigger car. It's not like
Mhm.
some Ferrari where you can barely get
No.
in it or anything. Okay.
No, he has a car where people can get in.
Ah, excellent.
Nice. And yeah, Theo, I think let's just have fun with this. Theo, you are in the car as well, because that makes it nice and easy to have all three of you together, right?
Wakes up in the back seat, just owning it.
Perfect. So where do we think you guys are going? I'm going to say that Blossom is at one of the appointments with Dr. Handsome. And that is why she is not with the three of you. Are you headed to some kind of fun event? Are you headed to the beach perhaps to just relax?
Yeah, is it? I mean, is it an official thing? Have we been called somewhere, Rich, or are we just hanging out?
It is totally up to you if you want to say that you have been called somewhere.
Okay.
All I am trying to establish is that you are heading across the 195 bridge, or headed towards the 195 bridge, and currently stuck in traffic. That's all I need. Everything else, I'm very open and interested in what interests you guys.
What you think? Why are we all together heading south?
I mean, maybe we had a training thing and now we were actually going to somewhere to eat and got stuck in the traffic. Right? Because I know this really nice Botanica. It's a bit up on the beach, but it's really good. So
If you're offering to pay, I live on a teacher's salary, so I am all for it.
I can offer to pay. That's not a problem. It's not a very expensive bodega, but sure.
Nonetheless.
Yeah, be my guest.
Words I love to hear. Thank you.
And this is a suspension bridge. It is one of the nicer bridges in Atlantic City. It's famed because there is a marathon that crosses the bridge. That happens several months from now, but crossing the suspension bridge takes you near the point where you are about to finish. So it is noteworthy.
Absolutely. Put that at the end of the marathon.
Absolutely.
Well, at least we're stuck in an excellent view.
It
It's a
is beautiful.
Bunch of car horns. This sudden stoppage of traffic. There's no real notice. It just all of a sudden the traffic stopped moving.
I don't know if any of us are police scanner folk, are we? I mean, that's a hero thing, but I don't, I mean, I know I don't do it.
I have one on the Oscuro bike, but not in the Miguel car because I think they're not entirely legal. Yeah, well, I need to keep these a little simple.
So there's fun stories about that, but for the purposes of our fiction, I'll say that it does vary from state to state. But also, yeah, Theo's definitely sticking her head out the window. If Google doesn't have that line of 195 colored in red yet.
That's really interesting, because I think you're seeing it start to turn red for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then yeah, what's the holdup though?
Cool. just because it exists, I want to share with you guys a quick picture, just so we have kind of a vibe for the look here. It's a couple suspension. It's 150 feet above water, the 195 bridge. And as Theo, you were in the back seat, from what I remember, he's saying, like sitting up after taking a nap.
I'm actually more like I've been leaning against the intersection of the door and the back seat, and then I put the window down on the door and then sort of plank push my head out
Mm-hmm.
like an absolute goblin, and just take a look.
Nice. So when you plank push out, the first thing that you notice is that blocks ahead, you can see the bridge, and you notice that basically one side of the bridge looks bare, and you can't really cross from heading from, you guys are headed east, right? Because you're headed towards the
Right.
restaurant.
Right. And it's divided, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the westbound looks like kind of a dead man's land. And you see there are a number of people now between the cars running this way.
Hey guys, I think it's action time.
Is there some sort of problem?
People running this way and the westbound is empty.
So there's stoppage, might be here. Some
Mhm. And I'll
okay.
tuck back in, suit up in the back
Mhm.
seat, and then just spring bodily out of the rear window.
I will see you all shortly as I kind of open up the door and start kind of walking away from the car forward.
Cool. So Miguel, how are you
Okay.
going to Oscuro up?
Not a problem. I mean, it's barely a costume that I have, right? So I'm just grabbing the the biker jacket, put it on, drop the cowl, put on the hood, and that's it. Bob's your uncle. I mean, the window panes, they're tinted. I can't change in the car.
Okay.
So I'm only putting up the jacket because getting onto the pants is too much trouble now.
Sweet. So I think all three of you get a group text. It feels like Miguel and Maxwell. Has Maxwell turned to her, or is he just walking?
Just
walking. So either of you might be the first to get it. It's from Blue Orchid, saying, "Hey, have you guys heard about the 195 thing?"
Say what?
He of course hasn't called you because
No, that's I
he doesn't.
text.
Exactly. I'm just making sure
What?
he
Yeah.
doesn't use phones
Yes, I
for
do it much like
talking
this,
out loud.
yes.
He's metal bugs. I'm on my way. So, Theo, you can catch up to Maxwell as Shinnok, Oscuro. You spring forth from the tinted windowed car, and the three of you start making your way. And it gets to a point.
I'm going to try to not be near them.
Yeah, I'm not going to go directly towards Maxwell. I'm actually going to start, frankly, using the top of the car as express because there are people coming the other way.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was my thought exactly.
Yep.
Perfect.
I'm going to move over towards the side of the bridge and wait for the superheroes to go springing forward so that everyone notices.
Right.
Mhm.
We're the
And then I'm going to
attention
jump off the side of the
vanguard.
bridge.
Oh, Lord. We know it's fine, but
Nice.
And as I, hopefully get to the other side, I will transform and fly in that direction.
No problems. Don't want to have die rolls preventing you from becoming the superheroes we all want you to be. Cool. So as the three of you converge, moving on top of cars and flying, you see what looks like a smart car, except with multiple legs, metallic. Actually, I have a picture, so why not? Picture says 1,000 words here, so let me. Here it is. Yeah, it's a little sketchy, but it's a little bit of a sketch, but I kind of dig it. But you see dozens of these things. They are in the center of the bridge. These metallic bug-like things that appears to be like its head. It has these 6 legs, 3 on either side. And they are not attacking people, but you see one of them throw its pinchers into the front of a car and kind of pull it forward towards itself. As you're getting closer, a lot of the cars on the westbound have stopped, and the people that you're passing, they're all running away from this central area where these bugs have overwhelmed everything else. And last thing that you notice as you are coming closer is that, I love this picture, so hopefully it makes sense in context, is that there is a huge tripod walker. It is so high up that it's near the top of one of the suspension columns, and there's someone inside the walker behind a control set. Appears to be involved in the affair. You are not close enough to recognize who this individual might be at current. Shinnok, what do you do?
Oh, is there anybody having trouble fleeing from the scene?
Oh, a great question. I think you're trying to assess the situation.
I think that's probably a good call.
Yeah.
Let's assess. It's confidence aligned. There we go.
And you're rolling plus genius.
Yep. And I'm pretty confident right now. In fact, I am overconfident.
You are.
And pretty smart. And I need to get into the roller.
And you thought we weren't going to roll dice.
You think I thought about it. That's so nice of you. All right. So an 8 on the dice for an 11 total.
Wow.
That's
what happens when you're overconfident.
Yep. And I get to ask 2 questions, and then you get to ask me a question. Let's see here. I think what here is in the greatest danger. Clearly,
absolutely.
My leading question. I think I'll hold on to the other one for now.
Okay. That sounds fantastic to me. So who here is in the greatest danger? As you scan this area, you see that I'm going to heretofore refer to these things as bugbots. That's okay with everybody. There is a police officer who has been has unloaded her revolver at a bugbot at point blank range. The bullets are ricocheting off of the iron carapace, barely making a scratch. She's standing in front of her partner, who's cradling a broken arm, and he is screaming into the car's radio as 2 more bugbots are closing in. They evidently think that this policeman is a threat. that is the person in under the greatest amount of danger at current. There are several other potential areas of danger, but that is definitely the one that I give you as an answer for most danger.
All right, I like that. And what's your question for me?
Oh, yes. Let's see. What does Dr. Nulll know about you or Shinnok specifically in his extensive research on all
It is
potential
extensive.
heroic threats to
Uh-huh.
this area?
He knows that I'm basically brand spanking new. He also knows that actually different Shinnocks have a largely overlapping, but not always matching perfectly power set. Like one of the Shinnocks back in like the 60s, 70s, she had scream related powers. Theo certainly doesn't.
Interesting.
So there's a little grab bag aspect going on there. That's what Dr. Nulll knows about me.
Fantastic.
And yeah, with that knowledge in hand, I will move to assist Lady Cop and her injured partner.
I'm really curious. What's your intent? Like, how do you want to assist her? Yank her away from the offending bug bots, or try to take on the bug bot that is closest to her that looks, menacing?
I'm going to try to take on the bug bot that looks closest to her. And, it's got an iron carapace, so I know that full frontal assault's probably not going to get me anywhere. I think it's rodeo time.
Ooh, isn't it always just a little rodeo time?
Just a little bit, at least in my heart. And I'll shout at her. They're after vehicles, it looks like.
Okay. Well, my partner's in one, so that's a problem. And she's like stepping back and trying to reload her automatic pistol.
Please don't shoot me.
There's a look like I'm not going to dignify that with a remark. Also, I'm a little wigged out as I'm fighting giant robot things. Oscuro. You see that Shinnok is moving to deal with one of the bug bots, 3 of the bug bots that are threatening a pair of police of Atlantica City Police Department folks. They are not part of the Specials Division. Just an FYI, in case you were.
Yeah, I feel that is a good idea, but she's probably got it covered, right?
Sure, absolutely.
Can probably deal with these, hopefully. I'm moving forward, but I will unstrum my guitar and send a wave of sound at one of the tripod's legs. I want to unbalance it and throw it in the river.
Going straight for the tripod walker. I love it.
Because that guy is controlling these things, and if he's in the river and dealing with that, then maybe he won't be able to do whatever his dastardly plan is. So.
All right, give me you're engaging in direct confrontation. This is a confidence aligned move, and you are flat on confidence. You're rolling with daring, which you have a 1. So all told, you're rolling +1.
That's okay. Sorry, I am running between. Yeah, I think I might start on this jump. That seems a good song for that, right? But I need dice for it. It's a 4, of course. I mean, I have never managed to roll anything useful with this character. It's fine. I get an XP. So
you gain an XP, and I think this is you play, and the sound carries forth. The bridge reverberates just a little bit, but there's so much chaos, so much going on, and also one of the bug bots near you slams his front pinchers into a car and starts to peel it open, and that throws your confidence. Miguel, Oscuro, I'd like you to reduce your confidence track by 1. I wish this particular die, I've seen other die rollers that like you, though. It's just Oscuro, this particular die rolling room, the 2 oil and water. I'm sure we'll find a day when the die roller decides to be random. But yes, you're going to take a hit to confidence, and that bugbot near you, I think it's, as you see it rip open a car. Let's see, like, I want to say it's like a Kia, and it seems like it's peeling off all the plastic parts and going just for the core metal pieces. And we'll jump over to Hearn as you come onto the scene. I assume flying, giant spear.
Yes, flying. I suppose the spear is out. I have my horn up. I will send a blast out across it so that we have Caseware making his way across towards me. The hunt has been called. But Hearn is also aware it is a broad Atlantica City day. And I won't last long in that. So I need to front load. Hearn is thinking, get your big stuff out first, and then you're gonna, have to fall back. So he is flying directly towards the big tripod-y thing with its bubble on top. As he says, what is with this unfortunate city and the mechanical menaces that continue to bring danger to its citizens? And as he reaches it, he's gonna grab hold and say, be gone. And I'm going to attempt to grab it, rip it up, and fling it into the ocean far, far away.
That sounds amazing. Let's see you directly confront. You are confidence aligned. Your confidence is a 1. You're rolling with daring. Your daring is a 2. You're rolling +3. You're not overconfident. You are perfectly suited to be amazing at this particular.
Right on the good one. Let's see how it goes. I roll boxcars.
Oh, goodness.
So
that is
50.
Quite good. Wow. On a 10 plus, you choose 2 from the confrontation move set. Do you want to resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, or create an opening? Or impress, surprise, or frighten? Sorry.
Yes. I am going to take something from them, and which I'm hoping is purchase on this bridge.
Okay.
And I'm going to, I suppose, do here create an opening with the hope that I'm sending them away a bit so that the bugs are a little, what's up?
Okay.
So I'll have to resist or avoid those.
You shall. I think what this looks like is Hearn comes in, grabs hold of it, maybe wrenches one of the legs off in the process of flinging this thing out. While flying, you see Dr. Nulll. Dr. Nulll is on our NPCs tab under the other people, row 41. L41 is our bingo for that. Once known as...
He was the one that said the last one, correct?
The last one, what? I'm sorry.
Giant robot.
Yes, you believe that he's the one that sent the atomic robo. So Dr. Nulll, you fling him. He screams over a loudspeaker, several speakers set on the outside so that he can dictate things from above as he lets forth a laser bolt that hits Hearn directly in the chest. And he says,
do you think that I did not plan for this?
But unfortunately, he is flying through the air and then skips over the ocean a couple of times. He is quite far away when he finally, his momentum stops. But Keen Eyes see does not sink into the ocean, however. But he is out of action for the moment. Some of the bug bots do seem to pause. You chose to take that away from them, but not all of them. So let's come back to Shinnok. You were trying to directly engage, yes? What
Oh,
was your
definitely.
intent?
After that setup, it's time to throw down.
All right. Let's see how that goes. As you get close enough to rodeo, the bugbot will respond to you as if you're a threat and not worry so much about the cop. Oh, are you directly engaging or are you defending? It feels like no, you're defending. So let's go with that instead. I apologize. So you're
No worries.
safeguarding.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's safeguard somebody.
You're trust aligned and you're rolling with power. So
All right.
you
Cool beans.
are rolling with +2.
And I get a +1 from my questioning.
True. Very true. Very true.
And I need it not at all. So I rolled
Wow.
a 10 on the dice.
On a hit, you keep them safe. And you get to choose one. What would you like to choose?
It's like give a teammate an opportunity, make somebody I protect a touchstone. A team if they already are. So this lady cop, is this the lady cop that was suspicious of me that one time?
It's Lisa Mara. It has to be.
I mean, I
because
make her a
I love
touchstone of mine
coincidences.
because that's just
She's
too-
taking you as a touchstone too. So that's
Lisa.
great.
What now?
Lisa Mara. She's in the Dramatis Personae L1, very top row. She
Right.
looks tough to me. I like that. Cool. So you take her as a touchstone, have kept her safe. And is there just one choice? I think there's just one choice.
I just
Yes.
get the
There's just
one.
no cost to it. So you rodeo this thing. She ends up grabbing her partner out of the car, her partner being Officer Greenhall, and pulls him away from the car as the other two bug bots pounce on the cruiser and start tearing it into pieces as if it were tinfoil.
Yep. And I'm just like, whoop, whoop. Yeah. Claws don't point that way, do they?
Oscuro, as you're reeling from that moment where you failed to take down Dr. Nulll, you notice that right by you, there are 3 children who have their faces plastered to the windows of the minivan that they're inside. They're staring in amazement, all these bug bots surrounding them, and their mother frantically locks the doors.
Mm-hmm. It's a good idea. Oh no, it's not a good idea. They need to get out of there, right?
Yes,
is there a
because
bug
there's
bot coming for them?
A bug bot just hops on the top, and you see a little arc welder as it starts to
I-
cut open the top of the.
I will
the-
try to blast that thing off.
Nice.
I mean, it's closer to me, right? And maybe this is smaller. Maybe this will work.
Maybe. It sounds like you're trying to safeguard those folks.
No, I'm trying to directly confront this thing. I'm not
Okay.
trying to safeguard. I'm trying to confront.
Okay, let's have you roll plus. You're now -1 confidence,
Yeah,
plus
that
1 of
doesn't-
daring. So you're rolling flat.
No, I'm rolling +2 because I have a move.
Oh, that's right. You do have that little
That's why
like.
I went for a guy because I've made a promise and I'm damn it. No. People
What's your
won't be harmed by
promise?
me. I kind of promised that people wouldn't be harmed by bullies with powers if I could help it. And that's the promise that made
Okay,
myself
love it.
basically.
Love it.
And I feel
The
that
game. I
applies
don't
now.
think the mechanics don't demand you make a promise, but I am curious. So thank you
Yeah.
for answering.
Yeah, but that I feel that is relevant. let's see how that goes. I don't have dice in that roll because I didn't like the old ones, I guess.
You threw
It's a
them across.
7. It's a 7.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
See, we're using virtual dice, but when I used to play with my old friend Jason Cunningham, he would, if he rolled too poorly in our vampire game, he would literally, he was a dice chucker. He would throw his dice across the room. We were often at my place, so that was worrisome. Yeah, he stomped a die once.
Wow.
He like put it on a concrete floor and stomped it because too many fumbles. So
a friend of mine put her dice in dice jail if they roll too badly.
Dice jail. My wife is all about dice jail. She like warms them up. She's got a whole ritual, guys. It's
dice jail is fine. Like if you stomp a die on a cement floor, you're only hurting yourself.
Yes, I never quite understood the pure hatred he had for his dice, but he also didn't like him. Like he mistreated them and they mistreated him right back.
Yeah.
All right. So with direct confrontation or a confrontation on a 7, congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
You get to choose one. You guys are going to swap blows. What's your choice?
I think I want to take something from them, and at this point, it's just the hold it has on the car, right? That's what I want to take. Like I'm blasting it off the car, and then I will get to the door and tell the woman, "Get out of your car. They're after parts, not lives."
Nice, cool. So you chose to just kind of take away its ability to disassemble this minivan in order to so those people have been bought a moment. Okay, cool. Just making sure I have it in my head. The lady looks at you when you open the car. She like there's a moment I locked the doors, but you opened up the car with your immense strength, and I'm not going to make you roll a die to open a car door because that's super boring. And
strength, I can just talk to her through the window.
Oh, okay. So you talk to her through the window, and then she realized that there was a little hole in the van where the arc welding started before you knocked that bugbot off. Maybe I've mischose an alliterative word that's going to screw me up, but I'm going with it. I'm going to stick with it. Bugbot is what we're saying. And she unlocks the back door and crawls out, and her kids get out, and one of them's like, "It's a superhero." No, no, it's just some guy. It's one of the older kids. Just some guy. Look, he's not even got a cool costume. So there's some costume shade.
I'm not commenting on that even. I have
No
to
respect.
I have to face a powerful blow, I think, because I didn't avoid its attacks.
You did not. So I think what happens at this point is that you were able to dislodge one of the bug bots, but another one of them flips the car over after the kids and the mother have run away, and you're in its path. So I would like for you to
okay, well, I'm rolling with -1.
Yeah, weather this blow.
It's a 5. Wow. This time that's good though, right?
And you also get an XP for it.
It's true. I thank you. These dice I keep.
They're the same dice. Cool. So
no, they're different dice.
Gave an XP, and you get to describe how you weather the blow. What does that look like?
When it flips the car at me, I mean, I'm pretty athletic, right? So I noticed last moment, and I just kind of, you can't jump really out of the way, but you can run up the car that is driven towards you, right? Jump on it and then jump.
Oh, absolutely.
While it's turning.
Awesome.
And just
like a log, like the people on logs that I can't remember what it's called, but like the log riders, I think, or something. It's awesome. That's really cool.
And at the end, I do the classic superhero landing. I look over at the kid, like, you want to say something again?
I think the kid that said your costume was lame, he's like, damn. And his mom kind of shoves him, go, watch your language, keep running. And we cut to Hearn. Hearn, you fly above the chaos. You have sent Dr. Nulll away. And from your bird's eye view, you see the number of the bugbots have pulled pieces of cars into the central area. And there are a few other bugbots that are pulling those pieces together and actually very quickly manufacturing more of these damn things.
More of the bots.
Correct.
All right. Looking off where I threw the good doctor.
Mm-hmm. Good being flexible on the word of good, but sure.
Do I feel like he's out of this fight?
Not at all. Nope.
All right.
You can try to assess the situation if you had more specific questions, but you get the feeling that since he screamed out, I had a plan for this.
Right. I think Hearn is very caught with him at the moment. And I think so. We see as the hurling goes away, we see Kesweir go flying by chasing the ball and rushing forward as then I catch, flight and moving at super speed. There is the sound of the howl of Kesweir as he approaches, and I'm moving like an arrow towards him as well. As Kesweir gets close, I'd like to use my ability from him to unmask.
Nice.
I get to ask one unmasked question just for free.
Awesome. And what we have, you can still ask the question. No argument at all. But I think there are a couple panels of Kesweir coming forward, of you flying towards, and the pod now, because it's no longer a log rolling, yes. The pod, there's these like little jet things underneath it, and it's floating slightly above the water. We see this cool ripple effect, right? And it's scooting back and firing several lasers at you, Hearn, and screaming over his loudspeakers.
World domination through recycling. See, I have a plan for this. I have a plan for everything. You are the hunter and nothing but a tool.
That's not very nice.
It's not.
Good doctor. As Kesweir gets close, I think there's he closes with it and sort of does this like scrabble across. He's been dodging as he scrabbles across and looks into the bubble where he is, the control area. I'd like what do you intend to do?
Nice. Cool. So I'm going to give you the answer, and then we may have to walk our way back to how you know this. But it appears that he's here or was there, because now his command bubble thing is far away from the bridge, to overwatch and gloat. And that a number of those bots have their own rudimentary AI. Rudimentary because he needs to be able to control them. But that they will continue to function whether he's here or not here. So what does he intend to do? Get credit.
Gotcha. All right.
And of course, watch his ultimate victory in world domination.
Knowing that, getting this kind of howl from Kesweir, realizing that he's just set this thing going and he's only wanting to laugh as Atlantica City burns. We're pretty far out in the ocean. I may not even be observed. I think Maxwell's like, no, I mean, we really shouldn't, as Hearn moves forward and says, "You have been a menace to Hearn for too long, little doctor. Water, land, air. How are you in space?" As I move forward and punt him up and attempt to send him out of the atmosphere.
Wow, that's amazing. I think you're wielding your powers with purpose here. So let's see you. This is confidence aligned, and you are rolling with power. Right? Yeah. So you're
+2.
+2. Yeah.
11.
Wow. On a hit, Tiflos, you get to choose wield your powers. You get to choose 2 options.
I want to neutralize an opponent or threat, at least for now. And take hold of something vulnerable to me. Maybe as I come up, I grab something off of this thing. Does that seem reasonable? What would I get a hold of that's vulnerable to me as this action?
Okay. I'll give you a couple of ideas that I have here, and you can choose one, or if you think they both suck, offer up a third. First one is you could potentially grab something off the control that could be some kind of fail-safe that could give you benefits against the brain parts of the bug bots. Those 3 that seem to be the ones that seem to be AI-ish. The other one could be a maybe the propulsion that he is using to fly around, so that he's going to fly up and not have much obvious control to get back, that he's basically gone from this encounter.
Ooh.
Yeah. See, one feels like a Maxwell answer. The other feels like a Hearn answer. And that's what I posed to you.
It does. Hearn is in control.
But it is daytime, so maybe Maxwell can make his presence felt. What do you choose? What do you choose?
Hearn's still going off the idea I have to I got to do what I can do now. I'd love to grab this thing off and throw it to Obscura or Sinat, but I'm gonna punt him on out as I rip off a jet.
Nice. You rip off the jet. He flies away.
Ah, curse you are not dead.
Flies off. We see like a little silhouette of his little escape potty thing from the tripod walker, and he goes off into the clouds. And
Goal.
Goal. Awesome. Shinnok, you have successfully saved Officer Mara, and Greenhaw is out of the fight as well. You see that Oscuro is dealing with a flipped car and has helped some people too. What do you want to do?
Well, I'm gonna break out one of my remaining assess questions.
Aha!
And ask what here is most vulnerable to me.
What is most vulnerable to you? And this is an assess question, and so I think this feels right to me. You scan over and you see that there are effectively 3 different kinds of bug bots, as far as you can tell. There are ones that are recently constructed. You can see that maybe one has the partial hood or hood ornament of a car. One has an engine for a head. There are a number of other bug bots who seem to have created a little bit of a ring around the main structure where the tripod was. And then in that central section where the bug bots have been bringing pieces of car, there are 3 brain bots, the ones that seem to be running the show and handling the reconstruction of things, acting not unlike a queen to its horde. So yeah, does that feel like a fair answer for you?
I
Your
feel like
question?
that's fair. That's fair. And am I still clinging to the one rodeo bug bot?
Of course you are. This is where you observe this information. It is it like tried to wriggle you off, and then it's gone back to its job because you're not hitting it.
All right. Well, I'll lean over to Oscuro and say, hey, from here, it looks like there are 3 of these bugs that are in charge and
Okay.
working on assembling more.
Okay, they are 3. We are 3. Sit them together. I think Karen will figure out what we're going for.
He usually can tell who we're punching and figures
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, and I like look at a little panel on the bug bot and rip and tear.
Can I steal your dustpan and brush real quick?
Cool. So we'll let Jen step away, Tyler to step away. So it's all about Oscuro now.
Or maybe we take a little break until both of
Okay,
them.
fine. Let's take a quick break.
So what?
Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. You were about to say something. You okay? Did you?
I was just wondering if we could do a coordinated effect now that we know what we need to do to take them out.
Yeah.
We have a target. Is that a thing?
Yeah, you
You
do.
wanna do?
So I think the opening scene as we cut back, like we're back from the staple, our impromptu break is that we see the Blue Orchid has been on the bridge, and there's a businessman who's like slumped over a steering wheel, knocked unconscious from a crash, and Blue Orchid like portals his way in to like pull the guy up through the top of the car through a portal. And we see that there's gasoline pouring from beneath the car and it keeps spreading towards a burning wreck nearby. And the moments ticking down as Blue Orchid's able to unhook the seatbelt and pull the guy up and then portals him away before the car explodes, because all cars with gasoline, they have to explode. It's a Chekhov's gun thing. It's in like screenwriting books and stuff, guys. It's legit. So he teleports him to like the shore and then ports back. So as Oscuro and Shinnok, the 2 of you have astutely observed and collaborated about the brain bots near the center of our suspended bridge, and you want to do some kind of coordinated effort. Now that is something we can do in teamwork moves. When the team brings coordinated tactics to a conflict or battle, the outcomes are different than when they're acting independently. When you commit to a strategy, players choose someone to kick off that strategy. The person will start with the momentum.
What's the strategy?
The
Without the
strategy
brain
is, focus on the brainiacs.
Not the brain box.
The queen, which we've seen one of, three of.
Three,
Oh,
three,
Three.
3 bugs, 3 brain
Three.
bugs.
Yep.
There's 3 of us, 4 of us. So
Yeah, soon to be.
Double redundancy!
Yes.
double payback.
I'm probably making my way back, so someone starting up besides me would be good. But you
Yeah.
can volley at me.
You want to start?
I advocate for Theo to start.
Okay, go ahead.
Cool. So I'm gonna try to rip into this bug bot, and frankly, if it's got an arc welding arm, I want that for me.
Okay. That sounds like a confrontation.
Mhm.
You're trying
So
to
too.
take something away from it that it doesn't want you to have.
No.
So you're rolling with confidence plus daring.
Mhm. All right. Well, my daring is flat. My confidence is 2. So it's time to roll. All right, so that's an 11 total. And I'm overconfident right now, so let's see here.
Oh, I know which one of these I want you to choose.
All right, well, I resist or avoid their blows because
That's smart.
it seems like what I want, and I take something from them. The arc welding leg.
It's yours.
Yoink.
Yours.
Nice.
I added a syllable, so it'll be southern. So what is the overconfident? You must also choose one of the overconfident.
I'm gonna miss something important.
Oh man, now I have to establish something important. I know what you miss, but I think I reveal it to Hearn. Hearn, at some point you will look back and you see that one of the major suspension cables has frayed and will break any moment now, which could send the bridge into a bit of tumult. But Shinnok has not noticed.
Maybe by super hearing picked up the ping.
It's like the sound effect of the cable splicing and the like. I love it. That's fantastic. Cool. So you now have an arc welder, Shinnok. Do you choose to serve within our teamwork moves?
Yes, I'm gonna pass the momentum to Oscuro. I don't
Okay.
have any team, so the momentum pool is at 0 for right now.
Okay, the next player to have the momentum, that is you, Oscuro. You can take action and we'll ask you if you want to set or volley, but I want to know what you want to do.
I mean, these are mechanical things,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know how they communicate, but they communicate in some way, shape, or form, right? So what I
Bluetooth
want,
7.0.
I don't care what it is, but I want to disrupt it with some sound
Dr.
spirits
Nulll wanted you to
because.
know.
Thank you, Dr. Nulll. I have no idea what that means, but I can probably send my sound sprites to just get a little disturbance, create a little disturbance in the force.
Oh, sounds like you're wielding your powers.
Sounds like it. I'm not very good at that though, so I've
The
power
dice
of
know that.
not 0, and I've got a confidence of -1. So well, okay then. That could go terribly wrong, but you know, that's me. It's an 8. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Yay.
On a hit, choose one.
Let me look at that. Create something useful, neutralize. Okay. I think what I want to neutralize is the communication between these bots, right?
Take the hive and make them all into individuals.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
What is the like? Is there a song that you're playing?
It's a song, definitely. It's a song about people not talking to each other.
Is it Till Tuesdays? Dang it! What is the song? Oh, Shush, I think.
Something like that. Yeah. Oh, Shush.
Voices carry.
Voices carry. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, then I'm using that one.
Voices
That's,
carry.
Yeah, that seems like the appropriate melody for that. I don't know that song, but yeah.
Old gamers. You don't know the song?
No.
It's okay. It's not actually a good song, but I love
Doesn't
it
matter.
anyway.
Oscar knows lots of songs. So.
Fantastic. Okay. So you cut off their Bluetooth 7.0. Dr. Null's, of course, going to be upset when he eventually gets that report. But do you want to set or do you wish to volley?
I think I want to volley because that means that you get to the repetition, right? That the next one can, and I will spend my team to give some momentum to the whole thing.
Perfect. Oh, you guys are getting good at this. I love it. And to whom do you volley?
I think I will volley to Hearn.
Hearn's coming back into the action here.
I mean, he can hear what I'm doing because he's a superhero and he can see the magic. So I feel that that is the choice.
Sounds
All
great.
right. So we see her picking up the piggy. He's way at a distance. He sort of looks to Case where he must hurry and return. And instead of flying, we see him kind of get to where Caseweir is and put his hand on his head as the two of them begin running across the sky.
Oh, so cool. I just love that. That's really awesome.
They're going at great speed, but you could kind of see the strain on Hearn's face as they rush forward over there. And if I'm correct, we take an action, then we do the coordinated. That is correct. So I am going to run as we get to the bridge. Caseweir lifts me up, and I'm going towards where the bridge is starting to separate, and grabbing it and attempting a safeguard.
Nice.
As Caseweir continues past me and sort of lights with the other two, sort of lands there amongst the other two.
Nice. I like it. So let's see your safeguard action that will effectively remove my countdown clock if you are good at that.
All right. That is, I have 1 for trust. And I roll power, so I have a +2. That's an 11. I am rolling good today.
You have all of Sabine's good rolls.
I do. I think I'm all over 10s. Knock on wood, it's not going away. Keep them safe and choose 1. I think I'm going to give a teammate an opportunity. I think I'm going to give Shinnok an opportunity, as well as Set with the momentum added in.
Okay.
Our team
Nice.
added in.
Yeah. So you give an opportunity to Oscuro. I think Oscuro.
Shinnok.
No, sorry. Shinnok. Sorry. So are you passing to Shinnok as well, or?
Yes, I'm doing
Okay.
the set with adding in a team.
Perfect. So the momentum becomes 2, and you have been set, Shinnok. I think due to the confusion, the opportunity here is that specifically from Hearn opportunity. So maybe there was a bug bot that was on the cable, and when Hearn took care of that, safeguarding folks by then that bug bot the bug bot falls down, and there's just a perfect path through where remember there was that protective ring that
Right. So it just lands on the ring and I can jump on that guy's belly.
Yep.
And
And scamper through if you would like.
I
It
sure
means
would.
that there is no one defending them, and the brain bots are not communicating to each other. So they're busily making new brain bots, not defending themselves because they didn't get a warning.
Well, that's going to suck for them when I trot right up to them and zap them to pieces with an arc welder.
Nice. So it sounds like you are going to spike.
I think I'm going to spike.
Okay. When you spike, you'll roll with the momentum pool. That is 2 because of your own contribution as well as Hearn's and the fiction.
Well, Oscuro
carried
and
forward.
Hearn.
It was Oscuro. That's right. You had no team. Got it mixed
Yes.
up. Sorry. So Oscuro and Hearn's literal teamwork have given you a +2 to this spike maneuver. Good luck.
All right. Wish me luck. An 8.
An 8. And based on our rules for the spike on a 7 to 9, you choose 1.
All right.
Just shift your confidence up. That'll be good. That's a nice selfish thing you could do.
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna run a villain out of determination.
Oh
KO them if they're
man,
already out. I know.
that's fine. I will accept your very good choice. What does that look like as you knock them out of determination and send these brain bugs into a bit of a panic mode and self-preservation?
So I think that, the first one goes down very easy. I jump on its back and I blast its ostensible head away. And the other two try to fight back, but they're brain bugs, not fight bugs. So they're pretty comedically clumsy at it. And I maneuver them into each other. And of course, just arc weld them to ribbons while they try it. And also one of them knocks the other's head off, and really it's a clown show.
Man, a clown show. Okay. I think it's interesting if maybe we bring this overall conflict to a close. You guys have been successful. You've done your thing. The Dr. Nulll is way out of the picture. You've taken out the determination of the brain bots. Are we cool if we transition past to some aftermath kind of stuff?
I don't know if the move applies here that I have.
That's
the one that says I could do this all night. When I have a hold of a villain at 0 determination or a petty henchman, describe your threat and demand an answer for them. But I'm not sure if I can do that with these.
I want to see it. I want to see it because you could shift your confidence up one if you want.
Trust down.
Maybe one of the brain bugs is clinging to life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I will go.
Literally, it's like clinging to the bridge, right?
I mean,
it's little pinchers there.
Yeah, I go up to it. I will grab a piece of salient technology that it has. I will say to it, I could rip this out right now. And then you'd spark and fall into the river and start to rust forever. Maybe a shark will come and keep you company, but I wouldn't bet on it. So where's your data disk? Please inform me. And I will take it, I will keep it safe. And you with it.
Wow. So you're asking for it to download it basically give you its USB stick with its brain on it?
Yep.
Oh,
I feel that we might use that to figure out who is behind this whole
nice.
baloney.
Well, I can tell you that is Dr. Nulll.
We don't know who Dr. Nulll, but we don't know who Dr. Nulll is when he's not Dr. Nulll, right?
Ooh, interesting. Okay. So let's see. When you have a hold of them, describe your threat, demand an answer from them, shift your confidence up one and trust down one, and they must answer you honestly. Yeah, okay. Sorry, just
yep.
You're not going to destroy me.
No, not if you do as I ask.
This seems like a very tough choice.
It's not really.
I'm not opposed to sharks, but all right, I'll do it. Yeah, hold on, downloading. 23%, 38%, 56%, 57%, 58%.
and so on until finally it says 100%. And you see a little USB.
Yeah, I'll grab it.
It's USB 8.0.
It's fine. I feel I can deal with USB 8.0.
Okay.
And I feel especially Shonak can do that because I'm not a hacker.
That's right. And then the shell of the brain bot falls off the side, sploosh into the water. And you get to shift your
I've already done that.
Okay, and your trust down by 1 because you
Yep.
terrified this poor little brain bot. All
Yeah.
right.
I like terrifying things. I don't know why.
Nice.
Please get them off of the bridge.
Working on it.
Okay. So I think we have a few panels of you guys defeating the last of the brain bots. The other bots just become inert. So they're working about moving the traffic around these things, and maybe Atlantica City has some kind of alien technology damage control that will deal with carting these things off and making sure that they remain inert. Not your problem. There is, of course, the subsequent interview with the media. Do you foist that upon Blue Orchid again? Or do you participate in any part?
There's Shinnok she can do that.
I want to
Cool.
ask,
Hmm?
with the support,
Yeah.
at the moment, I'm just holding.
Yeah.
this.
Oh, that's true. We should deal with that.
I think there's a moment as they're having people going, we see that the strain is becoming too much for her. And in fact, there's a slip, and I think Kesweir grabs hold. And as they're holding it together, does anyone come to help, or is the bridge going to collapse? I don't know if my team has much of, but is there like something the city does?
I mean, I've still got an arc welder. We could try to weld some of those things together while the city
Good.
mobilizes
Okay.
somebody to
Yes.
Oh, that
fucking
sounds
actually
fun.
fix this.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. It's thank you for the reminder. I apologize, Tyler, for moving
No,
past
no.
your
Mhm.
very cool problem. Sticky situation.
Mhm. Mhm.
Let's see what move best adheres to safeguard, basically defending
Maybe
Hearn
use
from-
power to change environment.
True, could be wielding powers. You get a choice there, Theo / Shinnok.
I'm gonna do this as a wield power. I'm overconfident, so that's gonna be fun.
Oh man,
Yep. So
I'm looking at those overconfident options. They look good.
they look good. All right, so 9 on the dice plus 2 for an 11. I get to choose 2, so I'm going to create something useful from the environment, such as a newly recompleted cord. I neutralize a threat, the bridge collapsing, for now, at least. Now it's time to flip a coin. I should decide. My powers affect something they shouldn't have.
Ooh.
I think that's a little more interesting and a little less a total betrayal of what I just rolled an 11 for. So
Yeah, I'm not going to betray that. Although you did make these rules for this particular kind of stuff, so you can blame the game designer if you're not happy about it. Let's see. Let's look at your powers. Superhuman toughness, fighting ability, strength, heightened senses, and mimicry. And you're using an arc welder to mend a bridge by creating a new cable. I'm open to suggestions because nothing is immediately jumping to my head about your powers affecting something they shouldn't have.
yeah, I mean, right now I'm sort of justifying this move because the outcomes sort of fit what we're trying to do, because
Right.
Hearn's working with me, and also because I've still got an arc welder. So it could be that the arc welder does something I don't want it to do. Maybe I really freaking hurt myself.
Yeah. Are there some sort of communication up on this tower? Some sort of thing that
Ooh.
is here where we're trying to make the connection?
Or maybe the way where you took out the arc wielder if activates something in that bug and it just goes haywire.
Ooh, that's a neat idea as well.
And it takes a bit because, you took out the thing and then it kind of starts to reset. Right.
So
and then,
yeah, bugbot. I like the idea, but I worry about just looking at time, like extending the fight further.
Mhm.
Maybe you could do with that bug bot. Sorry,
It's okay.
bot
Now you're with
thing
me.
We've seen it downloads itself into a thing that's usable, taken away by Miguel. We see one of these, like a car in the thing, get a weird connection from its internet. We see a little signal. That's all we see. We don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, maybe when I jump down and do a little victory lap and I conk the discarded arc welding leg next to a car that had been partially gutted by these bug bots, right? It makes sense to me. You put the trash next to the trash.
Yep.
And it's fine. But we see a few panels of the car itself. It's like these little metal tentacles come out from under this broken up car, and it takes the arc welder into itself, and then the hood kind of reforms like a beetle closing its wing cover again, and then the hood lights blink, and then it goes dormant again.
Cool. I like that. All right. Well, we have some time left.
Oh, and just because in the windshield, there's an Uber sticker.
Oh,
there we go.
Evil. Pure evil.
I think Hearn's willing to address the public, though, if Blue Beetles or Blue Orchid doesn't want to do it alone, or if we're going to have the whole crew. I mean, we succeeded marvelously. Maybe a whole crew moment for the press.
That sounds cool.
Don't worry, Miguel. I'll stand in front of you. It'll be fine. I pat him on the shoulder.
We could use good press.
No, just don't use that name.
Oh, sorry. Let's say that I use Sedescuro. I'm
okay. Cool. Fine, I have to get my car though.
Go get your car. We've got this.
Yeah, I stand behind Shanak. She's tall, right?
She is tall.
I'm not that tall, so I can stand behind her and kind of not be. I don't want to be on camera for people to take pictures.
Arms akimbo, taking
pull
up
down
plenty of
hood,
space.
Pull down the hood, pull up the cowl. So, yeah.
As things are clearing out, there is Chip Copper from the Channel 4 Action News Network. And Chip Copper comes up, shoves a microphone in the face of her, and you're like 7 feet tall. And Chip Copper, Channel 4 Action News. Tell us a little bit about what you faced today as you saved the 195 bridge and countless lives.
Mortal Copper. Once again, a mechanical menace has returned to our shores. I have kicked it far into the stratosphere, but the man behind it may still be at large. Know that Hearn the Hunter is protecting the people of Atlantica, and anything you may have heard contrary, you should not listen to, Mortal Copper. Should not listen to!
That brings me to a point, Hearn the Hunter. Are you saying that it's not true that you were involved in the murder of Jay Cornett?
I am saying that, yes.
And Fox Lady.
Shinnok.
Quote her
Shinnok?
name properly.
Shinnok.
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 It's like
An Irish
Shaka
thing?
Khan, but yeah, it's an Irish thing.
Okay. Shinnok. What was your part in this? How did you assist her and the hunter?
Well, I assisted her and the hunter by controlling the situation on the ground and by identifying the core brain bugs that were coordinating this whole attack.
Did Jim freeze?
Created
guys?
around them.
Okay, good.
And once those brain bugs went down, attack over.
I don't know. Would he know Oscuro's super name? Do you think Chip Copper knows Oscuro by name?
Oh, if he doesn't, I'm very happy. If he's not, if he doesn't.
Should we have Flippy at the
Oscuro, the
side?
Dark Avenger.
Oh, fuck.
How did you take? Who was ultimately involved in this nefarious scheme with these weird robots?
We will figure that out.
Still trying to find out the ultimate supervillain.
The threat is contained and the search will be ongoing.
We have your word on that, Shinnok? You'll
course.
find who did this?
Of course, I love a good hunt.
The hunt has begun.
And there you have it. The Atlantica Hunters. And then that will end the report as he goes and interviews a few people, works on some B-roll. They mix in some of the chopper footage of the fight and is made up into a package for the 11 o'clock news.
Yep, spent a little time doing some cleanup with Blue Beetle or Blue Orchid. Watch me do a DC Freudian slip.
It's totally coming. It's going to happen.
I mean, it already happened. It's over.
Oh, it's true. There you go. It came, it went, it was so fast, but it was destined.
Bird's trying to dip quietly somewhere to return to Maxwell because he is way out of power.
I think Blue Orchid maybe senses this. Hey, Hearn, did you need help getting somewhere, sir?
Yes, please.
right.
Anywhere.
I've got you, Mr. the Hunter. And then he will put his hand on your giganto hand and portal you out of there.
I think wherever we portal to, on the other side, it's Maxwell.
Oh, that's cool.
He says, you should just call him her. He has great respect for you, Blue Orchid.
No way. Really?
Absolutely. I'll pat you on the shoulder.
Thank you. Are you all right, Professor?
Fine and dandy. Thank you very much. If you'd like, we can return.
Ah, of course. Sure. And he puts a hand on your shoulder and opens a portal, and you guys step through and end up near the car.
And I'll sort of fade into the background as I watch my teammates get their kudos.
Oh, I will fade into the background as well and return to my car, gather up Maxwell, and yeah. Okay, can you text Shinnok that we're going to the restaurant?
Should I check to make sure our reservations have been held?
Thank you. Yeah, that would be nice.
I peek in through the window.
Yes.
Big ears, they still work. Hey guys.
You still with fox ears? Is that what you're
No,
implying?
actually.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what that I'm the door's open. So
And this time I'll open the door to enter the car.
The hostess is most insistent. We really should get there soon, and I am dying for a nosh.
yes,
Don't remind
Yeah.
me.
we still got this thing though.
Are you all right?
I've taken a few scrapes and bruises, but give me a moment to powder my nose. It'll be fine.
If you want to park, I could just tell me where you guys needed to go, and I've got you.
Hey, are you coming?
Would you care for some nice luncheon?
Yes. Thank you.
You're
Oh,
invited as
absolutely.
well.
They're going to be cleaning up this bridge for hours. We should
Mhm.
just go. Let's teleport. Let's have fun.
That's a good idea. I mean, they can tow my car. It's fine.
Thank you, Blue.
Of course. And we like cut back to the high school where he's cut class to do this. And
Mhm.
someone says, "Hey, where did he go?" And then we jump back to, so Miguel, what is it about this restaurant that you most wanted your allies to experience, your teammates, your fellow hunters?
Most wanted. I wanted to go somewhere where I could actually eat the food without my brain telling me weird stuff about it. And I know the food there, so it's fine. I wanted to have a meal with them. And and also it's a kind of bodega. It's Cuban, not Mexican, but still it's nice.
Nice.
So
what
super
is-
low key.
Yeah, it's not for tourists. It's not a tourist thing. It's a local.
So they give you an actual good Cubano
Yes.
and not like an overblown one that just sucks.
Yeah.
Good.
Nice.
I'll say, team, I think we did rather well. I mean, I admit I was mostly an observer, but that was truly heroic.
Hey, you did something none of us could have done.
We ended the problem quickly. No one seems to have gotten overly hurt. A bit of property damage, but that's what insurance for, isn't it?
We hope.
I mean, they should look at the bridge again.
Oh yes. Someone
But
should send them a
but I-
notice of that.
I'm
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
sure the city
We-
would think of that.
Yeah, I left some information about that cable with one of the first responders, so
Very wise.
should be taken care of.
And we'll have your car. I'm sure someone can get that, Miguel.
It's fine.
Hearn, I saw you knock out the. I'm sorry, Professor. I saw Hearn knock out the Walker thing. Do you know? Did you see who that is that was in the thing?
Oh yes, it's that same. It's Doctor. What did he call himself? Dr. Nulll.
Dr.
Yeah.
No.
He was, honestly, he set the whole thing up and was just going to sit there and laugh about it. It was totally just a bomb.
What's the point?
Hell, what's dangerous about it is he's eventually going to learn he doesn't have to sit there and immediately laugh. It'll be harder for us if he sets his bombs and moves away.
I've got this thing of his one of his things, his bots. There might be some information in there. Not a computer person, but maybe we can read this out and figure out something.
Oh,
about
kids,
where
you're young and fresh and whatever the kids say. Do you play with computers? Could you read that?
Oh. No, not really. No. I mean, Call of Duty, but that doesn't really count. And it's mostly to hang out with some other friends. I don't Theo, don't you have? Is he your roommate?
I have some
Yes.
friends who could give this a look. Yeah.
Hate to play upon it. We have asked so much of them. Will it be all right, Sadar?
All we can do is try.
They should know we appreciate it.
If Dulcis can't do it, I do know somebody else.
If there needs to be some kind of financial compensation, I'd be fine for that.
I'm not going to open with that, but it's good to know that I've got that in the back pocket.
Hearn has apparently promised to hunt the Malfeasor down. That does involve a certain amount of obligation, I'm afraid.
In a mystical sense, or
Yes.
okay,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
is this a geese?
It will be a very strong focus of his. I can think of it now, and it's a little afternoon. I rarely have to deal with her at all.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'll try to get this handled soon.
He tried to punt him out of space.
Wow.
Into outer space, I suppose is more accurate.
I mean, that would solve the problem forever.
The gentleman escaped his pod.
I would like to know if he acted alone before we go to punt him out into outer space. I mean,
Yeah, if he made all of those bugs by himself, then great. But if somebody's backing him, then yeah, knowing would be good.
I am pretty certain he is the same gentleman who was behind the last robot attack.
Oh, that giant robo thing?
Yes.
giant robo thing attacked 10 years ago.
And we had one on the beach, only
Yeah,
a
that
few
was-
weeks ago, yes.
Yeah, that was the one that came back after 10 years in the ocean.
I will say he's not young.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. So there's probably some superhero, supervillain history on him.
He did have a penchant for recycling. He made mention of that in his rant.
Hmm.
Generally, that does show something about a villain, right? Perhaps we should look into eco-terrorists.
I could ask around and some old friends of my mother's. They have heard of him if they've fought him, or I could ask them. Could ask Flamingo about it.
I'll have a chat with my aunt.
Oh, right, yeah.
Well, and Blue Orchid, thank you again. It feels like we hardly ever see you, but every time we do, it's reassuring to have you as a teammate.
I'm happy to be a hunter, Professor.
Is that what they're calling us?
I think so. Yeah, it's trending. There's like a hashtag.
Oh, cool.
Could be worse. I mean, does anybody remember the South Side sewer rats?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that
They-
was
They got screwed.
only one of them had a rant theme.
Mhm.
I fear Hearn's going to
That's
take a
square.
sort of feeling of arrogance about it, but, well, if it wasn't this, it'd be something else, I suppose.
Blue starts Googling the Southside sewer rats and giggles a little bit. Oh yeah, we definitely made out better than
Wow. Yeah.
that is.
Tragic.
Well, thank you, Miguel. I have to say the carne asada has been magnificent. Would you mind, Table, if I got a little sandwich to go? And maybe one for Miss Cosmo. Oh, and from Blossom's grandmother.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good point. I should take out some for Blossom. She doesn't eat. Forget it. Sorry.
Oh, she's going to be so disappointed.
Thanks a lot, Miguel. This was cool. We should probably hang out more.
Don't you have, I'm sorry to say this, but don't you have friends at your school? That's not that I don't want to hang out with you.
School? Wait.
Yeah, do we know his secret identity?
I think you know he's a high schooler. He's mentioned
Oh,
school
yeah,
before.
yeah,
Just
okay.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
that he's
so
a high schooler.
He's like, I kind of, yeah, it's a really hard having friends in high school, guys. Like, especially the whole secret identity thing. It's you're always bailing on them, and they get pissed. I mean, justifiably so, right? I can't.
Hmm.
I'm not very reliable. Probably the worst friend.
Probably not the worst friend.
Blue, do feel like you can contact us whenever you need. I know this has to be difficult on you.
Thanks, Professor.
If you're ever close to campus, give me a ring.
Okay.
And we can totally hang out if you want to, but you have to understand that neither do I play computer games, nor am I hugely into television or anything.
I'm not really good at it either, honestly.
I can talk to you about music.
That sounds cool.
Okay.
I really like your opinions about music.
Very good opinions about music.
They're very well developed.
Expensive, even.
Professionally so, yeah.
It's almost like I'm a professional musician.
I don't understand it.
I should probably get back to school. Fifth period is starting.
Did you ditch?
Would you care to give someone a lift as you're heading out?
Of course, Professor. Does anybody else need?
Blue, if you're ditching, ditch it all. Just saying.
What's that? Oh,
Make your own choices about ditching.
Okay.
I'll make it home on my own. It's cool.
Are you
Yeah.
sure? I hate for you guys to have to get stuck with an Uber. I offered you a trip here. It should be 2 ways. That's only fair.
It's a nice day. I'm gonna run.
Okay.
Get in some rooftop time. Scout things out.
I pulled out my phone and I'm like, right here, if you don't mind, near the corner.
He concentrates for a minute and he says, sure. And then opens up a portal and you see the corner on the other side. There's that blue nimbus around the doorway itself. You guys step through. And when you get on the other side, Maxwell, he chose a place that's a little out of the way. It's not broad daylight. Type
And I set a place that should be out of easy line
Absolutely.
as well.
He says, can I ask you a question, Professor?
Of course.
So Tony's in my high school, or I'm in her high school. Should I stay away?
Are you? In what sense?
We don't really run in the same circles, or I don't really have any circles, and she's popular and smart.
She is dealing with some trouble, but I have offered to do some training with her. Another superhero assisting in that, I think would go a long way. Would you care to join in our training sessions?
Yeah, that sounds fun. I mean, educational.
Well, superheroes of the future need to make connections.
Okay, I'd like that.
I will
With the
give you a
caveat
call.
that occasionally I may not be able to make it if I'm grounded or et cetera, et cetera.
Of course.
Thanks,
How
Professor.
old are you?
Gotta go. And he opens his little portal and ducks through.
And there's that moment of, oh my lord, how young is this boy?
Cool. We are probably the point, if folks have like last scenes or anything they wanted to do before we wrap up, we could make space for it. Otherwise, I've got a closer.
Got just one question Miguel would like to ask Schnack.
Sure.
Our CEO, because we're still there, and while you start running, I will keep pace for a bit. I'm not that fast. I don't have those abilities, but I will say one thing. I wonder, did Schnack ever meet the evening sorceress? Because she was a superhero around these parts, and Schnack's superhero around these parts. And
The deciding factor.
You know what? The coin told me one thing, but I find that it's not as interesting. So I'll say, yeah, I'm pretty sure that she did, but she doesn't talk about it.
oh, well, okay. Yeah, she never told me anything about that either. Weird.
Should I bring it up?
No, was just wondering if there was a connection. I mean, just because Schnack has been around a long time, and my mom has been a superhero before, and I was wondering, since we were talking about super teams.
There's no like memory transfer or anything. It's
okay, there's not.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been another question that I forgot to ask.
The assumption was there.
I have like a Black Panther area where all the former Shinnocks just hang out.
Yeah, no. Too many of the previous Shinnocks are still alive for that to necessarily work. But yeah, there is no such thing.
Okay. But Schnack is a spirit, right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't these memories be attached to her in some way, shape, or form?
She doesn't share them with us. It's
okay.
She's more independent than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Just
Sure, you're a sorcerer. I get it.
Yeah.
Schnack is cool. I get it.
It's true. It's true.
Yep.
I was just wondering how that worked. Okay.
All right. Well, today felt good. Good work.
Yeah. Call me up if you know anything about this Nulll character.
Sure. I said I'd look into it for you and for Hearn, and I assume that you've given me the USB stick.
Yeah.
And I'll wag it out a little bit. Say, get to the bottom of this if we can.
Cool. Yeah, then I'll let you pull ahead because I'm running out of breath here.
I'll give you a little wave goodbye and great. Get some height and keep going.
Cool. Does everybody feel satisfied with that as our closer? All right, let's do some end of session questions. At the end of a session, take a moment to reflect on how the events of the game went and what big changes happened or seemed to be on their way. Choose a teammate and ask one of them one of our 3 questions. We'll start in the middle. Maxwell/Hearn.
Ooh, starting in the middle. I think I'm going to ask Sabine Obscuro. How did I affect the community?
You held the bridge. I mean, you held a fucking bridge and kept it from collapsing. I feel that, yeah, the community is pretty in awe of that, right? That was a good thing you did there. And I think I will shift something up. Confidence, I think trust, even because you held the bridge. People saw that, right? And when it started to go, your dog held the bridge. That you have a dog, you're a dog person, your trust goes up.
I love that.
Awesome.
It was in the package for the 11 o'clock.
Thank you very, very much.
We'll go right to you then, Schnack. I'm sorry. we'll go right to Oscuro.
Confirmed.
I started to say Sabine, and then I'm like, no, use the character's name, and my brain said Shinnok for some reason.
Confirmed. Hearn the Hunter, a dog person.
So, Oscuro, take a moment, reflect on the events of the game, and choose a teammate and ask them one of the 3 questions.
I totally forget who I asked these questions.
I think you've been asking Alex more or less.
Because
of being stuck in scenes the way that I'd oriented.
So I think I will go and ask Jen, Theo. I think how did my actions affect the community? Because that seems a good one today.
I think that going after the brain bots data has the potential to really long-term put this to rest. Dr. Null's been playing whack-a-mole with us for a bit now, and it'd be nice if that stopped for good. So the community might not see it yet, but you have plans. So I think what I would do is shift your trust up 1, which I know means that it doesn't roll over and give you an XP, but I don't feel like you deserve a hard move for having a good plan. So there you go.
Nice. And now, Shinnok.
I should ask somebody. All right. Start in the center. Yeah, Oscuro, how did I affect you this session? You're muted right now.
I know. I was just
Okay.
trying to focus my thoughts. How did you affect me this session? Yeah, I mean, we did a lot together, right? We had the plan together about the brain bots, and we were really, it felt really good to act with somebody side by side. And then we had this nice meal, and we talked about your Shinnok, and I think I feel more, I am more, I guess more, you're more of a person now, because before it was like, okay, I know this person, they're in my team, it's professional, but now there's kind of more of a connection there, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And unlike you, I'm maybe a bad friend, but I will pull your confidence up, because you are a superhero and you answered all these questions. And it stood before me for the press, and that, yeah.
That counts. That counts for a lot. All right, then I reset to 0. I take an XP, and the GM gets a hard move for next session.
I don't really feel that that's a punishment, because storytelling.
It's kind of not.
It's kind of not. I mean,
Kind of not. It's
it puts you on the spot.
I wrote it down. I put a box around it. I'm definitely going to hard move Shinnok.
Highlighted with yellow marker.
Hit her right in her fox nose.
Oh, snap.
Yep, that's the plan. Cool. That's all of our, because we're definitely not into story arc. That's cool. Let's move to stars and wishes. We start with wishes so that we can end.
Didn't you say you had a closer? Just didn't you? No? Okay, forget.
Closer? What? So
You
confused.
said, does someone else have a scene they want to do? I do have an idea for a closer.
Oh, okay. Cool. Hit us with a closer.
No,
that's what you said.
Oh shit. Yeah, I just said yes and didn't yes, but I do have an idea for a closer. And I think what the closer is, I apologize, it's not involving a PC, but we cut to Mateo, the blue orchid, out of character, and he looks very different out of his blue orchid costume. He's in the high school, and it's the same high school where he's watching Tony pass by, and she's got several friends. She's become more popular because now she's known as a super. And he starts to say something as she goes by, and oh yeah, he's very fluent in Spanish. But she didn't see him. It wasn't like she brushed past him. It was just she didn't see him. And you get the feeling that he's younger than she is. And he gets that oh, I blew it moment of okay, but isn't terribly dejected. He doesn't give up that easily. And then he heads outside. School's ending. People are leaving. And we see a few musical notes on the page. And he looks over, and there's show a picture. It's worth 1,000 words, right? So we cut to a high schooler who is playing a guitar, and she looks like this, and she's got a little, I'll click the button there so you can actually see, she's got a little amp that she's wheeled out, got some self-done tats and the like, and she's playing by herself just outside of the high school, and a few kids gotta stop. She's playing metal. It is not some like low, uninteresting, moody rock. It is like thrash metal. And so a few people stop and they move on. And then something starts to rise out of the guitar. And Mateo is the one who seems to notice it first, as this odd demonic thing emanates from either the guitar or the amp. We're not entirely sure, but it looks pretty malevolent. And then it starts flying out towards some of the high schoolers. And that is our cliffhanger for the end of the session.
This is why John Lithgow didn't let children dance.
That's exactly why. Dang it, Lithgow, you had it right all along. Thank you for the reminder. I apologize. I would be kicking myself later as I remembered that I had a thing and then I didn't do the thing. But now I did the thing.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Let's do now stars and wishes. Boy, that was a lot of confusion. Goodness gracious. Who'd like to start off with wishes so we can end with stars?
I'll lead off. Somebody else wants to jump. I kind of want to see that training, perhaps of Blue Orchid and Tony have that moment. I'd like to see more of Orchid with us because we're developing a real team thing, and we need to get those highlights of him in. I think that's a good idea. And also, I think because Maxwell is a little like that horrible, horrible friar from Romeo and Juliet, I think he makes bad decisions. And so, I think that having that sort of thing go on would be fun.
Cool. Awesome. So Sabine or Jen, you unmuted. Oh, Sabine, you started talking. Okay, whoever
I started talking. Yes, I did. Intentionally, I started talking. Or do you want to go first, Jen?
No, I'm gesturing it over to you.
Okay, thank you. I want to do a thing and talk a bit to the kid over there. I'm a terrible influence, obviously, but to Mateo. And also, I can speak Spanish with him and don't have to English, which is not my native language. And I kind of enjoy that. Miguel kind of enjoys that and all. This is not a wish for next session, or if it doesn't come true, it's fine. But to have a guitar battle with that girl, right? That would be nice. That would be nice. And also I just remembered that I have a new move that I could use to get information about Dr. Nulll. So I wish I wouldn't forget that.
Oh, cool. Very cool. That's an excellent wish. I'm very happy for that wish. I'm happy to grant it because that might be exactly what I was hoping for as well. Great minds and all that. Thank you, Sabine. And finally, Jen.
Let's see. Once again, I find myself wishing for more Love and Rival action.
I know we didn't do any Love and Rival, so we got to have more.
Yeah, I know. And like, Oscuro is my rival right now. But I don't necessarily want to take actions to frustrate Oscuro.
Yeah, how do we want to do that then? How can I help you grant that
know.
wish?
I mean, getting a chance to ground myself with Oscuro would be kind of fun because then I'd gain a team. And that'd be nice. But right now I don't have Oscuro as a touchstone. So I'm going to have to work on that.
You don't have a touchstone with your rival? Okay.
I know.
That's wild.
I mean, we did have a little chatty chat about spiritual powers and stuff and sort of a nice relaxing run together. Do we think that's enough
that runaway was
I
a
think
moment.
do it. If you've got space for that, touchstone.
Yeah, I mean, doink. I just do that. That's why there are 2 rows.
This game seems to be well written.
I know. I try.
You care for such things. Compliments to the designer.
Yeah, but I need to regain some team. I've been team dry for a minute.
Yeah.
So that's my wishing there. Pretty slim, really.
I'm okay with that. Slim wishes means overall goodness.
Deliverability,
Yeah. Into it. Jen, you went last with wishes. You could go first with stars.
All right. Boy, Hearn addressing the news, pretty funny. Always gold. Let's see what else. I liked getting to throw down in this complicated bridge situation. I liked the Chekhov's suspension bridge failure because something bad happens on a bridge, the bridge is going to fail. That's just cinema. That's just how that works. I liked seeing Oscuro get to dangle a robot over the edge of the bridge and threaten it. That was fun.
It was very fun.
And I liked seeing more of Blue Orchid. We don't see him very often, but whenever he comes by, he is a treat.
Yay.
Cinnamon roll must protect, etc.
Thank you, Jen. Sabine.
Yeah, stars, all of you. That was a fun session. We had our villain that we wanted to put. It was very punchable, so star for a punchable villain. Star to Hearn for going a bit above, rather than above what was strictly necessary, and having that conflict between Hearn and Maxwell. It was really nice to see, even if it was during midday. Hearn prevailed. I'm worried about Maxwell here. I am. And having a nice scene with Theo, that was awesome. I liked that. I liked having connections there. I liked the whole scene in the bodega where everybody was talking and connecting. I mean, I always like these team scenes where we are connecting, right? So yeah. And I like that guitar girl. I do.
Yeah, I love that picture. That's why I had to show it off. Oh my God, I love this picture. Cool. Thank you, Sabine. Tyler.
Huge stars. I loved the fight. I thought you set us up on a cool spot. I loved you saying, why are you driving? And then us together deciding it. It was very team building. And I think while we never feel quite right as a super team, we do feel pretty right as a bunch of friends, which is kind of neat. Because I mean, I don't think we naturally fit together in fighting styles. but we really care about each other and are a bunch of friends, so we make that work. Having Blue come in, very important. I think we need to make sure the full dynamic of the team is happening. So seeing Blue, the way you're personifying him is magnificent, Rich. It is so much fun. To get a little glimpse into like his personal wants and that sort of stuff. Very good for us to have. We were just awesome all around in how we handled the problem. I liked Hearn being very go off and beat the hell out of somebody who really wasn't, at this point, had stopped being the problem. The problem was going to continue whether Hearn sent him to the sun or not. But having Hearn go do that, and I made a point of, I never used the same basic move twice. And I was moving towards safeguards and not doing offensive capable things as his power was draining out. So I loved the way you worked with me to set up how everything moved. Thought that was really cool.
It's fun.
And it was all around. This was just a nice super team, an actual check mark in our boxes. This is why we didn't go to jail. So all around, it was hugely fun.
Good. I also had a bevy of fun. I did a bit of prep there, which is not my usual amount of prep, and I'm glad it paid off. I'm glad the maps didn't confuse the situation because I thought they were neat, and thank you guys for being cool with me just dropping you into a car. That was some great role playing on your part to just appear in the scene as it was framed around you, and I appreciate that. And I liked the choices and heroic actions that each of you took. Thank you for being very open to me inserting the GMPC a bit into that. It always feels a little weird, but I'm glad that you're open to it.
I do have a wish I missed.
Ooh.
Probably have to write it down. I can't wait to find out more about Creepy Pizza Palace.
that is totally your jam, Tyler. I thought of you when I was looking at this Princess Pizza Palace. I'm like, yeah, that's.
I hope there's a
That's
connection. I hope there's a connection. That would be so cool.
Like,
thank you.
You were talking it out, and I was like, oh man, this is such a teens with attitude hook, or like a Molliverse thing. That would have been killer.
Yes, God, if I'd known this thing existed back then.
Yep, I mean, we would have played it, but now we get to play it with these characters, and that's going to be really fun too.
Cool. Thank you all so much, and thanks for anybody watching. We'll bring this recording to a close. Goodbye.